pass it over to you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the invitation. I really appreciate your time today. What I'm going to share with you today is a number of thoughts on leadership. And then I'm going to evolve into what a leader does to build a customer, a more oriented company towards customer intimacy, and how do you operationalize that. But know that what I'm going to share with you is not, if you will, what GE thinks, but rather it's going to be a blend of things that I've learned in industry. I've had an opportunity to meet many leaders in the world, and even some pretty famous people that have allowed me to shape a vision for leadership. And so what I want to do is today share with you that blend. My hope and my dream is that you're going to pick up 2 or 3 things that will help you to think differently. No, I didn't say better, I said differently. You know, because in life, it's all about learn and change, especially in these very difficult times. Now, I want to start today a bit different by focusing in another industry to illustrate a point. And I want to focus for a moment on the high-tech industry, because I want you to think about this industry for a moment. If you go back to, let's just go back to the 70s, when the whole world in the high-tech industry was mainframe-based. And think about the power of IBM. And all we knew was IBM. And then here started the mini computers with digital equipment and other companies like Wang Laboratories, Data General, Prime. And so the mini computers all got started. And they became the power of the computer industry. And next thing you know, standards came in. And companies like Apollo and Sun and others started with standards. And it kind of made IBM the past, and it kind of made the digitals and the data generals the past. And now it was all about Sun and those types of companies. And the next thing you know is that here comes what is called the Wintel, Microsoft Windows and Intel, where they standardize the industry, both semiconductors and software. And it kind of made Sun obsolete. But then what do you know? After the Wintel revolution, then here comes Dell, that just drive tremendous standardization through the industry, practically wipes everybody out, and then here starts eBay, Google, and everything else, etc. So I want you to reflect on this, that for the last 40 years, there were always 1 or 2 or 3 companies that were at the very tip of top. They were the best. They were number 1. And today, many of those companies are gone. They're bankrupt. They don't exist. Young kids today don't know about those companies because they are gone. So what I want you to reflect on is the lessons learned is that technology is not the sustainable answer for the long term. Technology is there to help you for the short term. But for the long term, technology is not it. It's not it. No, you gotta have it. Technology helps you to differentiate yourself. And you gotta stay on top of that. But there is something more critical and more important than technology. And that is the ability to change. The ability to change over time. The ability to learn and change. The ability to face yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth of what you gotta do. To know that what you did yesterday is not good enough for today, and it won't be good enough for tomorrow. So I want you to learn from the high-tech industry that it's the ability to change and to have transformational models to help you carry you over the long term, because you could succeed this year and you could succeed next year, but who knows 5 years from today. So this is key for your organization. So what is important here is, as an organization, you have to develop a learning culture. A learning culture. You have to have that ability to learn from others. So know what that means. What it means is this: the days of a person being a hero are gone. You know who the real hero is today? It's the one that learns from somebody else and takes that somebody else's idea and puts it in place in his or her center. The ability to learn from others and not to have an ego to take somebody else's idea, to put it in your center, to make your center better, to be the best that it can be. That is a huge leadership trait today that will help you carry on for the future. By the way, I hope I'm going to make today's session interactive. So if you agree or disagree, if you got a comment, if you want to punch me, please jump in. Because if I don't succeed in getting you to interact with me, then I failed to do my job. Okay?
Are copies of this going to be made available?
Yes, Paul already has it.
Perfect.
Okay? So, so what I'm going to try to do today, this is my agenda. I'm going to try to explain to you from Jack Welch's perspective, what is the role of the business leader? I was very fortunate about 15 years ago that I was in a room with about 10 people, and what do you know, Jack Welch walked in, and he talked to us for about 2 hours. And he was just going wild, putting charts together. And I have one of those charts here that I want to share with you. What is the role of that? The role to change, the philosophy of leadership, how do you drive organizational change, and then we'll go into customer intimacy. Does this make sense? As I do that, you know, it is said that the role of the leader is to create that vision, to build that organizational culture, and then you execute, so people are processing. Today, I'm not going to focus on the vision thing. We'll let Frank do that one. I'm not going to focus on that one. I'm going to focus on organizational culture, your ability to execute, and how do you move the people and the processes to help to build that culture. So, let's go into leadership. What is expected of a leader? What is expected of a leader? It's a passion for learning and sharing with others. It's a commitment. You must be committed. You must be in the game. If you're not in the game, get out of the game. You gotta be in the game. But notice, today's leader has to have a tremendous ability to energize people. It's so easy to give instructions. I want you to do this. That is easy to do. It's more difficult to say, come on, let's do it together. Your ability to energize people will define what kind of a leader you are. So you have got to know how to energize people, how to connect with the marketplace and with your communities. Very important. In GE, we talk about the 4 E's of leadership. I'll give you the first one to make it easy. I want to see if you can guess the other 3. So we measure our leaders by the intensity of how much ease they have. And we're looking for 4. I'll give you the first one. Tremendous energy level. Just go get them. What do you think of the other 3?
Enthusiasm.
I'm sorry?
Enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm.
That's not it.
Expertise.
Expertise. Yes.
Empathy.
Help me with the English on empathy. Empathy means
Passion, caring for others.
yes. Agree. It's not in these. I agree with you. I agree.
Excellence.
Excellence. Excellence is performance, right?
Right.
It's performance.